Am I the whole for telling my dad his son is not going to be invited to anything related to my child? I'm 18 female and I'm expecting a baby. I know I'm young. I live with my boyfriend, my baby's father, and we are determined to make a good life for us and our child. Becoming a mom is making me think about what I want for my child. And one thing I want more than anything is to keep my child away from the hate my half-brother has toward my parents and toward me as well. Background: my parents met after my dad lost his first wife. My half-brother was 6'7" when his mom died and 10 when my parents met. They got married 2 years later, and I was born within a few months. So we have a 12-year age gap. I was followed by my brother 2 years after me and my sister 18 months after my brother. My dad's son hated that dad remarried after his mom died. His maternal family were also angry at dad for betraying their daughter and not living forever as her widower and never finding love again. Growing up around that was not easy. I would hear dad's son get mad at dad for loving my mom more than his son's perception. He would yell all over the house that dad was unfaithful, would say my mom was nothing special and would never be truly loved or part of his family. He called her a side piece and other woman. Dad would argue back as well, which made things not easy. They were in therapy at times, but it never seemed to help. Even when he turned 18, he would come home and would fight dad over who he loved more. He never cared for me or my siblings either. He wished dad had never had us. When my dad's son had kids, he told dad's whole family that my mom would never be a grandparent or family. He said the woman dad loved more than his mom and his kids' real grandma was never going to be loved more by his kids. He would make sure they never loved her. He talked about how he was going to pin a photo of her to a punching bag, and they would also use a photo of her as target practice because that's all she was good for. He was never cut from our lives. In fact, my dad would still let him into the home and invite him to every party or event. I will not allow any contact between dad's son and my child, though. I don't want my child around that kind of fighting or to hear that kind of thing about grandma and grandpa. There has been talk of a co-ed baby shower, and I told my dad his son would not be invited. Dad was asking why, and I told him it should be obvious. But I do not want his son around my child when he treats us all so badly. I told him he will never be around my baby and won't ever be invited to things related to my child. He told me I was being very extreme and should give it time. Am I the whole?